Well, Godwatchesutube has gone off the channel. I mean, there are other crazy people out there. Let's look at what my old friend Calpunpiso is up to these days.
Staff and security outside that school just to handle.
All right, it is Calpurnpiso.
Hear about this. They clearly want
with
the
facts.
Kids to hear about this from their parents.
Today is December 14,
ask questions, and they want to make sure that they're sensitive to the surrounding children in this community as they.
Another tragedy in Christ psychosis infected America.
And to be here as a reporter.
Children being killed.
It's a powerful, powerful image that you're.
Many examples.
Think about it, at least tomorrow.
I give you 1,000 examples what the main cause of this problem is. What affect the brain of people, make them do these things. And it's all this schizophrenia, life disorder, or some big God belief that nobody sees for what it is. A creation of the brain.
And we're in hell. Thank you very much, Calpunpiso. This is what I'm going to rant about for the next 15 minutes. Thanks a lot.
Other officials to do what must be done until the person has committed a crime, and that's when they come to their attention. So it's just not entirely true that people are in denial.
What are the warning signs that people should be looking at?
Psychiatrists?
Who do respond to the warning signs, and they will call the authorities.
What are the warning signs?
They will see that their child is angry, isolated. Clearly, potentially,
stupid woman.
To auditory hallucinations. They hear voices.
Yes.
Maybe
Christians
with guns. Maybe they're at a shooting range.
Christians, you stupid asshole.
Well, you can't call the police and say my son's.
Right. Already, I am furious. Right. Calpunpiso. I'm going to put this as bluntly as I can because I know that you think I'm some psychotic because I happen to be a Christian. Right. I'm going to put this as bluntly as I can. You do not get to exploit your wacko jacko fucking pseudo-psychology bullshit in relation to child death. You do not, okay? A, you look like an unethical, morally inept prick. And two, you're exploiting child deaths. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, you're only butthurt, blah, blah, because he's telling the truth. No. Calpunpiso has the right to his own opinions, as factual as they are, and he says they are facts. And B, this is going to be the hardest pill for him to swallow. Christianity is not a psychotic disorder. Okay? Christianity and theism as a general is in the majority in the world. I know this is going to be hard to hear, and as such, it is not abnormal. Okay? Most people left to their own good will come to some sort of God belief. It may not be precisely Christianity, but it'll be some sort of like pantheistic or deistic God.
Balances here.
She's standing bracious and not hers.
That could create a
stupid woman.
Like this.
Well, that I mean, look, these things they used to be sort of in the realm of the anecdotal.
No, come on, Gupta.
Evidence of
come on, Gupta.
Happening certainly in the brain. There may be people who are more predisposed.
Yeah, like exactly to religious people.
Actually, you're wrong because people predisposed to it come from all manner of cultures, beliefs, non-beliefs, from Shinto. Because again, mental illness does not just strike one type of people; it strikes tons of them. That's why people haven't really understood mental illness until very recently. There's been no sort of correlation with that the amount of religious belief actually heightens or perpetrates any sort of psychology that is untrue. There's been never known any sort of peer-reviewed evidence that would say so. Sweden, which is an atheist country, tends to have a lot of psychological problems as well. So therefore, Therefore, you have no factual basis whatsoever.
To talk about schizophrenias in plural, there could be hundreds of different forms of schizophrenia. In any case, in the clinical practice, when we see patients, there is never one patient that is exactly similar to the other patients.
And Calpunpiso's going to get this. You just disproved your own argument. Did you hear what that guy said? That there's no such thing as people having the same sort of mental illness. Now, people around the world believing that Jesus came through death, blah blah blah, and all this sort of thing. That is a shared experience. Now, again, that's the reason that your argument doesn't work. Okay, you've just disproved your own argument by having that expert talk about it. He just disproved everything you've ever said ever. Okay. Second thing is that this is the reason why the group experience thing doesn't really work, because again, if someone has a psychological group experience, it doesn't work that way. Everybody's going to interpret the situation a little bit differently, and I mean massively differently, because again, people see things different ways. But they didn't. They saw the exact same thing. This is what disproves the whole group hallucination hypothesis, because psychology doesn't work that way. Now, this is the reason that your schizophrenia argument doesn't work, Calpunpiso, is that this guy just illustrated why it doesn't work, and the fact that you cannot see this is why your argument doesn't work is beyond me. I mean, do you not understand logic or reason or anything? I mean, is your mind just so addled by stupidity that you can't understand basic psychology?
And when I accept delusions, split minds, schizophrenia, accepting things that, visions and stuff, and things that you cannot tell between fact and fiction, and some people have propensity to this. And we're all crazy, well, primates anyway, so we're all crazy apes. That's where we are. That's what we have qualia. But this is the situation, that is not one, it's a different forms of schizophrenias. And as you can see, believing God, faith, should be one of them.
Actually, what he was saying is that you can't treat every psychological problem as the same. That's what he's talking about, clinical treatments. If you followed what the guy was actually saying, instead of like you're projecting your own expectations upon him, you'd see that was what he's saying. What he was basically talking about, that people tend to think that when you have, let's say for example, depression or schizophrenia or hyperactive disorder or any sort of mental illness, it's not like the same as having a medical illness where the symptoms and the virus tends to act in the same sort of predictable way. It doesn't work that way in psychology. Every person is different, and therefore every case of psychology is different, and that's why we have to treat them all differently. This is the reason that you will constantly and always be wrong whenever you talk about psychology.
It's going to ruin us. It's going to make our species extinct.
Religion is organized schizophrenia.
And
deal with it.
Thinking about it like that, it changes everyone.
They don't understand it. They don't see it.
Or cancer or diabetes, it changes everyone's perspective.
Again, people that believe in God, they have a problem, like schizophrenics do.
Actually getting it diagnosed.
Right. What problem, Calpunpiso? What? Again, you keep on saying that Christians have problems, but you never... like what, for example? We're just members of society like everybody else. If we were such a problem, society would get rid of us. Okay, we'd be outcast. We'd be people who wouldn't be free if we're that much of a problem. It's the same thing with Muslims. If Muslims were as much problem as people think, they'd be outcast from society, because people don't want to live with people who don't want to be part of their group. Okay, this is the reason that you will always be and will always remain wrong.
They won't do it. That's not everybody.
Morons.
Not every for those who.
And this is the result. That this stupid lady's a psychiatrist.
And I'll bet you anything.
You're stupid. You're an ignorant idiot.
Talking about
brought up in a Christian home, I bet. Same shit.
Was clear.
Says the man who can't understand psychology or people's actual arguments and has to project onto them arguments you wanted them to make. And again, people can watch that video that you put you played. Again, you don't have to show any links. I'm surprised that this person hasn't sued you for fair use yet.
See, another shooting. Tons of them. It always happens. And this is due to Christ's psychosis.
Okay, Calpunpiso, prove it. I could just say that heavy metal music does it. That's been played in the past. I could say violent films do it. Those have been played in the past. I could say violent video games do it. They've been played in the past. Again, you can point to anything and blame it. It's just a blame culture. It doesn't actually address what the actual problem is. The actual problem isn't why it's the problem is that why are people getting guns and shooting other people? The reason is that our psychological tests aren't stringent enough. And it's nothing to do with whether you believe in God or not. It has to do with your mental state. Okay? And there are proper doctors who do this for a living who will tell you you're full of crap. Okay? All through your videos, Calpunpiso, you keep on making this assertion that Christianity is a mental disorder. Okay, why isn't everybody, if this is such a psychosis, a mental disorder, killing people or eating people or committing murder? Why are most of them just happy to live their lives? Are you going to try no true Scotsman with me? Because psychological disorders don't work that way. You know. Especially violent ones like schizophrenia. I'm gonna bring this up in another video, but for my subscribers, be well, and I'll see you next time because there's more of this insanity to come. And I do apologise for doing this, but man oh man, as soon as I watched this, I just knew I had to respond. Yowza.